Hi, welcome to your channel Generous, Gracious and Gallant. I'm your host Dr. Ghosh and I'm back today with another awe-inspiring story for all of you. Today's story is about a mother's tenacity, perseverance and faith for over 32 years which led to the recovery of her child. Before we go on to this amazing story, for all those of you who already are my subscribers, heartfelt thank you. And for those of you who are coming on to the first time to the channel, Generous, Gracious and Gallant, let me give you a brief about what we do and why we do this. Generous, Gracious and Gallant was formed in 2015 and today on Facebook we have got about 800 plus members. On WhatsApp we have another 120 plus members, and on YouTube, which we started in May 2020, today we have 170 plus members. Why is there this amazing growth on this private channel? The reason is due to our philosophy and mission. What is our mission? Our mission is to change the thought process and strengthen the moral fiber of the present and coming generations. Towards this mission and vision, we share with you daily inspiration and stories of mankind at their very best, enabling you to put your best foot forward on a day-to-day basis. The lesson we try to impart here is of integrity. It is the single most valuable trait in a person or a leader today. Especially mankind's battle against the infamous COVID-19 virus which we are undergoing now requires leaders with integrity. Coming back to our story, the inspirational woman, mother, who we are talking about is Li Jingzhi. Li Jingzhi persevered, never lost hope, never gave up for 32 years in the hunt for her kidnapped son. She achieved her goal after 32 years. Li Jingzhi gave birth to a son who they called Mao Yin or Jia Jia with love. Jia Jia was born on 23rd Feb 1986. Li and her husband frequently took Mao or Jia Jia, or as he was called as, to the city parks, zoos and other places of interest in their city of Xi'an. Li was a working mother and was extremely doting and fond of her son. She also, as a working mother, had to stay out for long durations by going to other provinces on her job, and thus she devoted all her time when she was in the city with her family to taking care and doting on her son. Once when Li was on an outstation trip in 1988 and she had left her son with her husband. Father and child were on a day trip when young Jia Jia demanded for some water. When the father turned around to cool the water. In a split second, Jia Jia had been kidnapped. Lee was informed by a telegram, "Come home, there is an emergency." When Lee reached back home, she was thoroughly devastated and entered a state of depression and had to be hospitalized as she had lost her son. The doctor advised her that he could treat the physical symptoms, but he could not do anything about the pain in her heart, her depression. Lee decided to hunt for her lost son. Initially, the thought was the son was lost and he would probably come back in a week or so. But when weeks turned into months, Lee decided to take action. Setting aside her depression, she traveled to over 20 provinces, distributed 1 lakh flyers in the hunt for her son. She also went on to national television shows, including the now famous X Factor, and followed up 300 leads for her kidnapped son, Mao Yin, or Jia Jia as he was called with love. Failing in these efforts, in 2007, Lee joined the group Baby Come Back Home as a volunteer, and in her endeavor for her own son, she helped unite 29 children with their families. Based on a tip, a 34-year-old man in a province about 1,000 kilometers south of Xi'an, now named as Gu Ningning, who had his own home decoration business, was identified as a potential match for Lee's son. A DNA test was done and it was confirmed that he was Lee's son. Lee was informed about this on May 10th, on Mother's Day in China. Mother and son united, and it was the end of a mother's faith and tenacious search of 32 years for her kidnapped son. A chapter which had been opened on 17th October 88 took 32 years for its closure. Amazing story of tenacity, perseverance, and a mother's faith against all odds that she would find her kidnapped son. Lee gave up her own job in her hunt for her kidnapped son. We have to realize there were extraneous factors responsible for this. China had a one-child policy, and couples desirous of a boy paid high premiums in the black market for male children. In our own case, Jia Jia had been sold for $800 to his adopted parents. Jia Jia has decided not to let go of his adopted parents also, since they took care of him for so many years, and he's straddling both his adopted parents as well as his biological parents and taking care of them both. He is delighted that he has found his biological mother also. It's a bonus for him. The Baby Comeback website in China today has over 22,000 children, of which 15,000 are male children and 7,000 are women child who are still being hunted for. 2009, China's Ministry of Public Security set up a DNA database which has helped match over 6,000 children to date. 2015, it was estimated by the ministry that 20,000 children go missing or are abducted every year in China. May 2016, the ministry started a system called as Reunion, which had helped reunite 4,000 children with their parents. India's situation in this is even worse. India has a huge child trafficking problem. The National Crime Records Bureau indicates that one child disappears every 8 minutes, and these children are used for child labor, for begging, and exploited sexually. The National Human Rights Commission says 40,000 children are abducted in India every year, and 76% of this are women and children who are used in the prostitution business. The story which we heard about Lee and her perseverance for over 32 years in her hunt for her kidnapped child is really amazing, that a mother could keep her faith and be tenacious and persevere enough to hunt down her kidnapped child despite the undertaking taking 32 years. They say, if you persevere, you'll find even God. This is the story of a mother's tenacity, of perseverance in the face of all odds and snatching victory from defeat. Nature and the universe itself conspires when you keep your faith and persevere despite all odds. Sometimes the results may not be immediately forthcoming, they may take some time, but the universe itself will conspire to help you achieve your goals if you are tenacious and persevere enough to go behind your goals. Friends, I'm also a firm proponent of the difference to one. Mankind is facing its biggest battle against the infamous COVID-19 virus, and it requires that we, those of us who are unaffected by the job losses, the economic downturn, and the loss of lives, are still fit and fine to be counted and make a difference, do a random act of kindness to someone in our community. Help mankind in its battle against the infamous COVID-19 virus. I'm sure that you will maintain social distancing, wear masks whenever you're going out to crowded places, and as much as possible stay at home and avoid going out of your homes to crowded places. Your being safe and secure itself is a requirement against mankind's battle against this infamous COVID-19 virus. Friends, if you like these awe-inspiring stories which I bring to you, please do subscribe to my channel, Generous, Gracious and Gallant, by hitting the subscribe button and pressing the bell icon so that you get an update every time I receive a new video and release it for your viewing. Please, please feel free to share these videos with your friends, family and children. These are children-friendly videos which will truly inspire your children, family members and friends and help bring about a change in the thought process and strengthen the moral fiber of our present and coming generations. Till we meet again with another awe-inspiring video on your favorite channel, Generous, Gracious and Gallant. Good luck, all the best, stay safe and thank you for watching my videos.